Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here on Wednesday, kicking off the day. My name is Lisa Hayes. I'm the head of safety, public policy, and senior counsel for TikTok in North and South America. Kushal?
Hi, everyone. Great to meet you all. My name is Kushal. I lead our engagement with global institutions, including the UN bodies. Great to see you all here.
So most people are familiar with TikTok these days and think of it as an app. Some think of it as a dance app. Our mission is to inspire creativity and bring joy. And we have moved way beyond our origins as a dance app, and that's what we want to talk about with folks today. Can you click us to the next slide, Kushal? So one thing to understand about TikTok, in case you yourself don't use the platform, is that a traditional social media feed comes to you based on who you know. You choose, you follow your friends, you follow celebrities you like. Instead, TikTok is an interest-based graph, meaning we show you content that we think people who liked similar content were likely to enjoy. This means your feed can be made up of people you've never met in real life, and you never will meet them in real life, but they share your passion for gardening, for books, for music. And that is, I think, the secret sauce of TikTok, is that it allows people who do not already have a brand, who do not already have a reputation, to come onto TikTok and be very successful as creators, because we reward the good content as well as having a big name. That's not to say that Beyonce did not do well when she launched her latest record on TikTok. Celebrities do well on TikTok, but you don't need to be Beyonce. And in fact, most of our top creators are people that did not have any name recognition or brand or sort of social media success and fame before they came to our platform. And as a result, we are able to help small businesses, we are able to help entrepreneurs, and all sorts of creators who are able to make a living on TikTok who would not see that same success on other platforms unless people were choosing to follow them voluntarily.
Yeah, thank you. In fact, there are three key observations, as Lisa mentioned. TikTok is a discovery platform. When we empower discovery, we level the playing field. We are providing new ways for people to monetize their content. And when we combine discovery with commerce, we are turning trust into economic opportunities. So we talked about how discovery leads to empowerment. Now, what does this empowerment mean? This empowerment means that creators can now find audiences not necessarily based on how many people follow them, but based on the relevance of their content. Consumers can find products they love, and brands and sellers and small businesses can reach out to new audiences they have had no access to in the past. And we also, especially when it comes to TikTok, because the content is so locally relevant, we see new voices find opportunities. And we want to showcase one of the examples of this group of young dancers from Kampala, Uganda. They were a group of amazing dancers. They were expressing themselves culturally through dancing. They went viral on TikTok, and they were from a disadvantaged community in the city. And their videos got them to be endorsed by celebrities. They were invited to Brit Talks, and they found their way to empowerment. Discovery led them to empowerment, and this is one of the things that we also wanted to highlight. But this discovery cannot happen in isolation. We believe that discovery should be complemented with safety, and that's why Lisa, who heads our safety, is here with us to talk about some of the ways we safeguard and protect our communities.
Yeah, no, thanks, Kushal. None of this works if at the end of the day the consumer doesn't feel safe using the platform, whether you're a creator or somebody simply surfing on TikTok. So we have very strict policies that go across all of our verticals. In particular, I'd like to talk about two verticals that you may not know as well. The first is TikTok Shop, where people are able to sell and buy goods. And so for TikTok Shop, we have a whole host of goods that are legal and that you can buy at many stores, but that are prohibited on our platform because we're not confident yet in our ability to sell them safely. Diet drugs. firearms, a whole host, which are all publicly available on our website if you want to go look at them, certain baby products, things that are absolutely legal, but that are prohibited on TikTok Shop because the safety of our community comes first, and we don't want somebody to buy something that could pose a risk, because that loses trust with the consumer. Secondly, I do want to touch on TikTok Live, which is our live streaming capacity. First, you need to be an account registered to 18 years of age or older to go live. And this is important because we actually will put you through an additional age verification process to make sure that teenagers or people who are not ready yet to go live on the TikTok platform are unable to access that feature. And in addition, since a lot of our sellers are now using live streaming to sell their products, to engage with their community, we're also making sure that they go through additional age gating in order to use TikTok Shop. If you want to buy a product on TikTok Shop, if you want to sell a product on TikTok Shop, you must be at least 18 years of age.
And given we have talked about discovery, we have talked about safety, we want to build it up on how discovery and safety creates new opportunities. And there's this specific observation that we have that when we expand monetization opportunities beyond just ads, and when we open and broaden monetization opportunities, we see community voices and small businesses, they get socio-economic empowerment. Like, they are able to benefit from new ways of monetizing their content. Live streaming, which Lisa talked about, is one of the ways. Like, when people live stream their content, they get rewarded by their viewers. It unlocks new revenue opportunities for educators, performers, charities, musicians, small businesses, and fans could go and reward them directly. So this is something new that we are seeing.
Kushal, can I just add in on that for 1 second? I actually think this is really important for this conference in particular. When we think about social media companies, traditionally we think about an ad-supported ecosystem and model. That's not what's happening on TikTok. TikTok is seeing enormous growth in the TikTok Shop and in the live stream, as Kushal is saying. I have a dear friend whose daughter just graduated from college, and she wants to make it as a country star. She's moved to Nashville, Tennessee in the United States, and rather than waitressing during the day to pay her rent, she's actually going on TikTok and live streaming, and she sings and she performs, and her fans will tip her. I call it digital busking, for lack of a better phrase, but it's giving artists and creators a new way to engage with their community, and the community a way to honor them and reward them, and to tip them the same way you would if she was playing on a street corner or if you had the opportunity to go hear her in a club. Sorry, Kushal.
Yeah, and when we launched Livestream back in 5 years ago, it was a very small industry. People generally know of live streaming as broadcasting. When you content, that's live streaming for them. But we have been able to unlock new ways of interaction on live stream. And it has quickly become a place where very interesting things happen. And we'll come to some of the case studies. But interaction plays a very significant role in it. And there are two key features that we'll highlight. There are many, but there are two specific features that we would want to highlight. One is live gifting. So fans and followers who are watching live content can send you virtual gifts, which gives content creators new ways to monetize their content. In the sense that when we reward creators, we account these virtual gifts in their payments as well. And it's widely beneficial to, again, educators, musicians, performers, artisans, small businesses who could rely on this new pathway of virtual gifts from their fans and followers to be able to, have more revenues, have more money. The second feature is something called donation stickers. These are interactive stickers which people can put on their live streams or videos. Fans and followers can click on these stickers and they can make a donation. Now in 2024, TikTok Live, the live TikTok community, they were able to contribute more than $1 million through features like digital stickers, your donation stickers, and gives. So we are seeing a lot of use cases of it, and verified nonprofits and charitable organizations are able to benefit from this a lot. Now, the third observation that we have is when you combine discovery with commerce, you see something magical. You see that accounts become digital storefronts. They don't need to buy paid media. They don't need to make a website. They can start selling as long as they adhere to our safety standards and community guidelines. Now, a majority of these consumers who are looking at these handles, they're able to trust recommendations from people they already know or follow. What this does is, this brings down the customer acquisition cost, CAC, as we all know, for small businesses. They don't need to run big campaigns or advertisements, and they can directly connect with their customers. The third thing that we are seeing is when you combine live with commerce, the power of discovery and live with commerce, it provides an immersive and experiential journey for you. It's like me going to a market, browsing a storefront. If I have questions, I can ask the owner of the storefront, like, oh, how much does this cost? Oh, do you have it in this color? If I like it, I buy it straight, right then and there. If I want to move on to a different store, I can go next. I can go to a different store, do that same interaction. It's changing the game. Live chat and real-time interactions, changing the game for commerce, driving sales. That's an observation. And aligned with that observation, we have a product, as Lisa said, called TikTok Shop. It brings together all the ecosystem players, ranging from sellers to creators to buyers. It's quickly becoming a launch pad for businesses. And again, we provide a safe and trusted shopping experience to everyone. There are a few case studies on this as well. We talked about how accounts are becoming digital storefronts. We want to talk about it from the perspective of a small creator, Rights Guy. In the UK, he started reviewing, in a very genuine way, products sold by small businesses. And shortly, he started seeing that whenever he reviews products, like the sales of those products are skyrocketing. You know, like ranging from vegetable choppers that would see like a 400% growth in sales to 1,000% growth in sales for air coolers. He saw that there's an opportunity for him to promote genuine brands and products. So he went ahead and collaborated with a lot of brands. It was a win-win situation where brands could advertise their products, small businesses could advertise their products, and he could monetize on TikTok. He earned livelihood through that, and there's also a personal aspect to it where he was able to afford the IVF treatment for his family. He was covered by Channel 4 in the UK, and he also generated a lot of awareness on IVF. So a lot of these community members, people like you and me, they're able to use opportunities, the newer monetization opportunities, and make the most out of it. Similarly, we talked about low barriers to entry, and we want to talk about it from the perspective of small businesses. We are seeing something called the halo effect, where you're able to jump right from being a digital storefront to a physical business very quickly because you have built a very strong community of users, and you are known very well. And there are many case studies, for example, made by Michelle. They were started by this by makeup artist Michelle, and he managed to generate more than 2 million worth of revenue in less than 2 weeks, which was a successful case study. Byline, they managed to expand to Sephora, Mallows, they ended up in Boots, Superdrugs. There's a lot of such examples where brands are launching on TikTok, and then through this effect called the halo effect, they are managing to jump to the other side and be present on physical stores. And lastly, we talked about that immersive experience, right? where I can just go on TikTok Shop, I can browse products, I can interact with users. We wanted to talk about it from the perspective of sellers, small sellers. In Thailand, what's happening is local fruit farmers are able to sell their produce during the harvest season on TikTok Live and TikTok Shop. And they're directly selling their products. Most of them are verified sellers. They're directly selling their products, eliminating all the intermediaries. In fact, in countries like Thailand, we have more than 90% of small businesses and sellers on TikTok Shop selling through features like Live and Shop. So where does all of it land us? We are seeing a quiet, ongoing rebalancing of digital economy, where there are three things happening. Number one, there are new monetization pathways that are giving opportunities to small sellers, artisans, creators, people who would not traditionally be able to afford advertisements, afford paid media. They are able to find a pathway to empowerment. The second thing that we are seeing is that safety by design is not a choice anymore. In a discovery economy, it's also not a contradiction. If we want to promote creativity, you have to rely on making it a safe experience for everyone. It's not a competition. It goes hand in hand. And the third thing we are seeing is discovery leads to empowerment. It brings diverse voices to the fore. It levels the playing field. And it empowers everyone. Yeah, and with that, we conclude. Happy to answer questions.
Okay. Happy to continue the conversation also. So please find us. We will be here.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kushal.
Thank you.